Day of Atonement controversy. And we're going to get some live debates going on. First and foremost, everybody, I want to, of course, give all praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, who your mama called Jesus. His real name is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Hasad coming back at y'all with another one. I know some of y'all are probably out celebrating Labor Day, but we keeping the Most High's Day today, the Day of Atonement. If anybody is wondering what that is, we will go into depth momentarily. So first, what I will do is I'm going to put a link in the live chat in case anybody wants to come on here, have a discussion, etc. Give me one moment. And put a one in the chat if the audio is good. I hope there ain't no echo. Y'all let me know if there's a echo going on. But today we're observing the Day of Atonement. What is the Day of Atonement? We're going to read that right now in Leviticus chapter 23. Let me pin that to the chat. Okay, boom. So the live link is pinned to the chat right here. I'll star it right here. So let me share my screen. This is Leviticus chapter 25. And let's go to Leviticus 23. And we'll go a little down.
Hey, what we doing?
My bad. We got right at Day of Atonement. I just wanted people, want to know. So
Wait, what they want to know?
Just about David.
I had a whole different.
Okay, all right, that's all right. We can go into it in a second.
So here. We got a special treat for you guys. I just want before we show them why our weekly skips one day and that it is a double Sabbath. I wanted to just play this real quick and show why most camps have it. They're a month apart from like us, House of Bread, Gaborum, certain other camps, YLK, some smaller camps, Sakari, even when Sakari was at its height, our calendar was always 1 month before the rest of Israel because Israel's calendar is lined up with the Jewish community. So I wanted to just play this video that we did, Hasad, real quick and show them why it's a month, why the camps are a month off. And then we can go into how we can prove it's a double Sabbath during this time and why the weekly changes. Man, Hasad just was like, to hell with the priest. That's crazy.
My bad.
Lord in Christ. Okay, so this is a video that me and Hasad did. And dang, Hasad, you in a mansion over there? So this is a video that me and Hasad did. And it's called God's True Calendar and Holy Days Finally Revealed. So this is going to show you guys why the bigger camps and most camps, I think, matter of fact, GMS is on our basically the same calendar that we're on. But show you guys why like IUIC, ISUPK, HOI, Watchmen for Israel, SOT, why they're a month apart, because they're going when the barley is ripe. But the Torah, the law says it's supposed to be when the barley is green. It says what it says. Much respect and love for them brothers for still rehearsing the righteous acts. So let me just play this, y'all, and then we can get into the rest of it. So let's keep going. So when is the biblical New Year? When is the first day of the first Hebrew month? This is where all camps and congregations should listen close. Or not. The first month is called Abib.
You can pause it real quick.
Nisan.
Can you go to the what is it? The make it bigger. Pause. There we go.
AKA Nisan.
Right.
This is Josephus of the Antiquities of the Jews. You can read that, Hasad, and this is in section 3.
Yeah, read the longer one. I got you now. So it says in the month of Xanthicus, which is by us called Nisan, and it's the beginning of our year, on the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in Aries. Now, real quick too, this is not another jab, but notice right here, it says the 14th day of the lunar month. It doesn't say the 15th, because you have some brothers and people that are wondering, what do you mean, Hasad? So there's certain brothers who believe that when the Bible says, for example, Passover, which is what this is talking about, when it says the 14th day at evening, that is talking about the 15th day. No, it's talking about the 14th day, which is why the Bible says that one, and then Josephus says that here too. So it's the beginning of the 14th day, right? This is the 14th day of the lunar month when the sun is in Aries. For in this month it was that we were delivered from bondage under the Egyptians. The law ordained that we should every year slay the sacrifice which I before told you we slew when we came out of Egypt, and which was called the Passover. And so we do celebrate this Passover in companies, leaving nothing of what we sacrifice till the day following. The feast of unleavened bread succeeds that of Passover.
Uh-oh.
And falls on the 15th day of the month.
Oh my God, that's a cut.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So notice it juxtaposes the 15th day from the 14th day and the Feast of Unleavened Bread from Passover. They're not the same day.
Wow.
It says, and continue 7 days, wherein they feed on unleavened bread. They feed on unleavened bread. On every one of which days 2 bulls are killed, and 1 ram, and 7 lambs. Now these lambs are entirely burnt, besides the kid of the goats, which is added to all the rest for sins. For it is intended as a feast for the priest on every one of those days.
Now let's keep going. Abib, also known as Nisan, in the post-exilic period, is a month on the month on the Hebrew calendar that has quite a bit of historical significance. Esther 3 and 7. The first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Exodus 12 and 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year. Of Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. All right, we're going somewhere. Somebody said through a right hook and left hook. We didn't even try to. It is called a flash hook, where you accidentally knock a nigga out. All right, so Abib is the first month. It's also called Nisan, right? Exodus 9 and 31. When does it start? And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear and the flax was bold, proving we went out while the barley was green. All right. This proves that we went out while the barley was green. And that was the first month. And on that 14th day, we had the Passover. Watch. What does it mean? This word in the Hebrew, Abib. It means fresh young barley, ears, green ears of month of ear forming, of greening of crop, of growing green Abib, month of Exodus and Passover. That's a cut. And so I just wanted to share that before we go further into, and that just proves, Salakia, the heck? Okay. Yeah, that just proves why these camps, the bigger camps, are a month off, because they're teaching and basically saying that we went out of Egypt when the barley was ripe. But no, we're doing it how the Bible says. We went out of Egypt when the barley was green. Right. So if you go that way, then your calendar will align with ours. Will really align with our God's calendar, which is the biblical calendar, which is the calendar our ancestors were keeping.
Facts. All praise to the Most High. Somebody asked, will we put the PDF of that out? We could definitely convert that into a PDF.
We can. And then I can do that, and I can put it in the description box of this video when this is over, so you guys can have all those sources and slides to show why most camps are a month off, and they are actually aligning with the white Jewish community. Okay. You had a link in the chat?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
What's up, brother?
So I take it like y'all, it sounds like y'all more Israelites or something like that.
Yes, sir.
So my thing is, I wonder why, as us black folks, we still participate in what I would call like Santa Claus stories
Okay. But
without
you're saying the
everything
Bible
being
is fables?
substantiated. Huh?
You're saying the Bible is a bunch of fables.
Yes, actually, I believe it's not what I believe. I know that it was mimicked from the Egyptian hieroglyphics. My thing is why us black folks still keep the Bible alive. That one did not have our face in it. Secondly, when you read the Bible, it's out of context. The whole Bible is out of context. It's almost like reading text messages and receiving a different type of understanding. It's almost like, you know how we can have a conversation like we are doing now. It's missing a lot of the sarcasm. It missing a lot of the reality of those conversations. And one thing I noticed about the Bible, it don't tell you. It's almost come off like the Bible was written in one day. Like all of these stories happen in one moment, right? They don't give you specific dates
Yeah.
of a lot of stuff. So it takes a lot of credibility away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick though, brother, I want to respond to what you just said. I wanted to make sure that you got you finished your thought. I'm going to respond in reverse. So I'll respond to the last thing you just said. The way that we know that the Bible is not written and as if it was just written in one day is we have manuscripts from, hundreds of years apart, some even over 1,000 years apart, written in different languages, in the script and the context of a language that would live like the Hebrews during the time of the Babylonians would write different than, we have our people during the time of the Greek Septuagint. So there's no evidence for what you just said. There's no valid, I don't think, historian that would agree with what you just said as it relates to that. Now, specifically when it comes to the Bible copying off of the Egyptian hieroglyphs, I would need to see. The only thing that I've ever heard people try to say is that the Bible, the 10 Commandments come from the 42 negative confessions or laws of Ma'at. But of the 42 negative confessions and laws of Ma'at, I think there's like 3 of them which align with what the Bible says. Now, does that indicate somebody copying or stealing, or does it indicate that there are cultures all around the world that share similar practices despite having not interacted with each other? For example, within the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at, it says things like don't murder. And you'll go into China and you can go into some of their literature and they will also say don't murder. Does that mean the Chinese also stole from the Egyptians, or does this mean that it's a universal principle generally not to kill innocent human beings? Now, I want to let you respond, but how we again know that the Bible doesn't come from Egypt. In Leviticus 18:3, it's specifically God tells the Israelites, do not follow the way of the Egyptians. Because when you actually go into, matter of fact, let me just share that verse. Let me read that so we all have an understanding. In Leviticus 18:3, it says, after the doings of the land of Egypt where you dwelt, shall you not do. The God of the Bible specifically commands the Israelites not to follow the things that were going on in Egypt. Now, why is that? Because what's actually written on some of the walls in Egypt, I'll just read this. This is spell 700 from the Book of the Dead, right? This is what you can find on the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Now, let me unhighlight that. I don't want to spoil it. So it says that Geb here is understood to take the place of Osiris and fathering Horus, for which she finds support in the remark from Coffin Text spell 700 that Geb's phallus, that's your penis, is between the buttocks of his son and heir. That's what's written on the walls of Kemet.
So can I respond right?
Is incest between a father and his son. That's what's in the Book of the Dead. I don't think Black people or any people for that matter should be following that.
Right. Here's the issue that I'm having. You just read that type of stuff in the Bible from a perspective of people who've been mimicking and stealing stories from Egypt, right?
What do you mean?
You're not hearing. Can I fully respond? You're not hearing that the Egyptians from their own mouth.
I just read though, brother.
Right, but that's not Egyptian story. That's people who created the Bible telling you what the walls. Because I could show you real solid proof on what was written. Actually, what is not written, what was sculptured on the hieroglyphics, and I
Can
also could show
you
you.
explain spell 700, brother?
Right, I also could show you how
Before you
Egypt hieroglyphics.
right there.
Will you be able to allow me to finish, or I gotta help validate your Bible to be accurate?
Brother, when you made a couple statements, I directly responded to those statements. And in response,
This statement is false though in that Bible. That's not real.
in response to what you said, I posed something to you, and I would like for you, and I think the chat would like for you to address it. In the coffin text, in spell 700, it says that Geb's phallus is between the buttocks of his son and his heir.
That's false.
Okay,
That is false.
Can you explain how it's false?
How is it false when you talk about Osiris and first off, can you take that down? I don't need that.
Well, no one needs that. No one needs.
We want the people to see it, yeah, and no one needs to be phallicking anybody. No one needs to be phallicking other men.
I can tell you the story of how we got the obelisk. What the obelisk is the penis of Osiris.
What we want to know is for you to explain.
I mean, damn, brother, I know you don't want. I know you believe in this Bible so much, and you feel as though that this is true in your heart because that's what you've been told to believe. You're not getting a. Because if somebody was going back and if I write a book and telling my story about Hasad and priest Akan, I guarantee you, if I tell the story and don't get the chance to hear your side of the story, and you find out about it, you're going to be highly pissed. What happened with the Osiris? His evil brother Set later became Satan in European theology. He cut up his brother Osiris into 14 pieces. Set chopped up his brother Osiris into 14 pieces. One of the pieces of his brother's body, which was the penis, he threw it in the Nile. That's how we got the obelisk and the baptized water. Come on, brother. Can I finish? Or you just want to? You
hold on, wait. Let me mediate because this is not my channel, but I am gonna mediate this.
I don't want to be able to finish my thought.
I know, but he asked it. Hold on 1 second, brother.
I'm going to ask you about Osiris.
Hasad, what exactly did you ask him?
I asked him to address coffin text spell 700, where Geb puts his phallus between the buttocks of his son and his heir.
Okay, now, Jay, 1 second, brother. Okay, Jay, hold on. You said it's not true. Then he asked you, he's asking you, it's in there, though. Why is it in there?
Oh my God! So it seems like everything that's written in the Bible, it has to be accurate, right? And so I'm explaining the story of how I'm explaining the story. The actual this dude won't let. Okay, I'm explaining.
When you guys are both talking. When you guys are both talking, we can't hear you.
You asked.
Look, we're gonna give you Jay. Jay, we're going to give you 60 seconds. Can you please address though?
All I need. Why do I only get 60 seconds if we having a conversation?
Just to respond to that one point of why it's in there.
Where in the Bible?
No, why Geb is phallicking his son.
And what I'm trying to tell you on the hieroglyphs, there's no Geb, and that's no penis. Osiris' penis is not inside of no Horus butt. And what I'm trying to relate to you, what I'm trying to relate to the world is that you are getting this type of information. First of all, you got to question yourself. Why is everybody speaking about Egypt but Egypt? Why is the Bible is referencing stuff? You're not even getting two sides of the story. You getting the people who created that book story. No author of that Bible is written by no Egyptians. And that's what I'm trying to say. So you are getting people that's telling you what's on the hieroglyphics and what's been told. But until you have actually been there, you'll never be able to get the actual full story. Only thing that y'all have been receiving is what everybody else outside of the Egyptians telling you about their stories. Okay, and it's crazy to me that these are the same people that has been untrustworthy.
Let's do this. If you want to continue, we can have this conversation.
I love this conversation.
Okay, but you got to pan your camera around the room.
Why?
We wanted to see what the room is looking like.
Yeah, come on, Marshawn Lynch. We want to see the room.
Why you want to see my room for?
No, but
We just
listen.
want to see how you living, brother.
No, but look.
I think y'all intimidated or something.
No. So I want to respond to the stuff that you just said. Can you read Meta Netter, Jay? Yes or no?
The who?
The Meta Netter.
The Meta Netter.
Do you?
The Meta Netter. Right. So.
Real quick, hold on. You don't know what it is. That's okay. Can you read any ancient? Can you read the language in which the hieroglyphs are written?
Yeah. What does hieroglyph mean?
Yes.
Like what does the word hieroglyph mean?
Oh my God! See, I think y'all Bible people is so man. I feel bad for you.
Can you tell us what
the hieroglyphics is actually in order because South Sudan got the same hieroglyphics, but you can't detect it. So first of all, you gotta let me finish though. I know you're trying to protect this Bible. It seems like y'all just trying to protect that Bible to make it seem.
Okay, now I have to do this. I really do not want to do this, Jay. I've muted you. I don't want to mute you again. I don't want this to be a one-sided.
I can dip, but we can't have a real conversation though. Yeah, y'all want to push off lies.
100%, you could dip, but I don't want you. I want to have a good conversation. I just allowed you.
Right, but you gotta let me finish though.
You were finished. Number one. Number two, I still haven't received an answer. I still have yet to receive my answer for Coffin Tech Spell 700. Number one. Number two.
I did give you the answer.
That's no problem. You just said in your statement just now that you made a couple contradictory statements, but there's one thing in particular. You said that no one tells the history from the Egyptians. You can't go to the Bible to tell the history from Egypt. The only way that you can really know is if you go there and experience it. Have you been outside of the United States?
2007, I went to Egypt, Kemet, the land of black.
Okay,
and I know everything in that Bible is what they told about Egypt is a complete lie.
Okay, so
and I can bring you evidence, trump everything that you just put out there.
Brother, stop interrupting me because I didn't do that to you. Now
I'm just telling
you. How do you know, or how does anyone know what is written on the walls of Egypt? What it says?
Because how the way the actual Egyptian hieroglyph is expressed with pictures. Let me see. That's not Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics.
This is not the hieroglyphs.
That is the hieroglyphs, brother. What are you talking about?
No, this is what they told you were the hieroglyphics. That is not what the hieroglyph is.
Okay, well let's go
to that one at the bottom where they giving birth.
Let's go to a scholarly source, right?
Oh man. Okay, can I show you evidence then?
This is the full text of the Egyptian Coffin 1. So
Egypt is not telling you this. This is American telling you what Egyptian text is. This is not Egypt.
Jay, let me help you out. You don't know anything about Egypt. You just so happened to go to Egypt in 2007, and it was probably right after you was in the penitentiary. And what happened is you don't have a knowledge of self, and so you go to Egypt, and that's understandable as a black person. But the way that we even have the hieroglyphs and things of Egypt goes to the Rosetta, goes all the way back to the Rosetta Stone.
Have you been there?
So you trying to attack us for what the Bible says concerning Egypt when we're not even going to the Bible for what the Bible says for Egypt. We're going to Egypt for what it says about Egypt. And in the coffin text, it says that Geb's phallic is between the buttocks of his son and his heir. You just can't address that because you just can't address it. And that's where we're at.
Okay, I was going to show you the few actual hieroglyphics. You haven't been there. Have you? Have you been there? Don't make fun of how I pronounce it. Focus on, have you been there?
No.
How do you know that Bible is telling the truth?
Been where? What does me going to Egypt have to do with the Bible?
Because you reading, you got other people explaining what Egypt is outside of the Egyptians. Can't nobody tell the Egyptian story but the Egyptians. Period.
You don't even know what's going on.
You read it. You told me an alphabet about the Egyptian hieroglyphics, and I'm looking at that, and I know that's a lie. That's not the Egyptian hieroglyphics. Just because they try to make it look old and make it look like the hieroglyphics, I know for a fact, for 100% fact, that's not Egypt hieroglyphics.
Okay. All right.
Can I
Well,
provide evidence, or we just gotta take the Bible word for it?
Well,
As
I
if the
want
Bible is evidence.
this one last thing because it's taking too much time now. I want you to read this line by line and explain and just break it down. That is Egyptian hieroglyphs, 100%. So I dare you to say it's a lie.
This is not Egypt hieroglyphs, sir.
Well, now you're gone because you're just
all right. Next person.
Yahusha.
Brothers,
What's going on, brother? You live.
hey, you guys do dawn to dawn or even to even?
Evening to evening.
Why?
Because the Bible says so.
Where?
All over the place. A good example that I use is how we know in Luke 22. Let me just pull up the scripture. In Luke 22, in verse...
You do dawn to dawn, right?
It's first light.
First light to first light?
Yep.
24-hour period, right?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, it's not 24 hours. It's 23:56.4.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So in Luke 22 and verse 16, it says, let me pull it up. One moment. All right. Luke 22 and verse 6, start verse 15 or 14. And when the hour was come, he sat down and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not eat any more until it's fulfilled in the kingdom of God. You agree that Christ ate the Passover, correct?
No.
That's okay. So verse 15, and he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. Verse 17, and he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it amongst yourselves. He ate it. What are you talking about?
What about Mark 28:1?
Well, hold on. Before we get to Mark,
Matthew
can you explain this?
28:1.
Can you explain this, though, brother?
Brother, there's no Passover there. There's no lamb. He is the lamb. What are you talking about?
So when it says, I have desired to eat this Passover, is he talking about eating himself? He's a cannibal, an auto cannibal.
What Passover? It's not the 14th. That's the only thing that you're getting off. Since you start in the dark time and you allow the moon to lead you,
I asked you a direct
you allow
question.
the moon to lead you.
I asked you a direct question. What Passover is this? What is he talking about?
14th day of the month.
Okay. And what day is Passover?
14th at evening.
Thank you. You just proved my point. So this is the Passover that
But
Christ.
it's not the 14th.
Okay. Let's read a little earlier. Matter of fact.
So why did Kepha not go into the temple? Because he didn't want to defile himself from eating what?
No problem. So we'll get to that, but you're not going to get away from this. We were going to camp here for a moment.
Boy, you don't even know who I am.
I don't really care because you're obviously not anyone that's formidable.
Well, at least everybody that get on your calls, they can't finish the deal, but I can.
Okay, well, you're getting finished right now. So
okay, let's go.
I never met him.
Is
it the Day of Atonement for you, brother? Is it the Day of Atonement for you? Okay,
it's not,
brother. You gotta chill out.
You're
I see
off.
I see your picture.
You guys are off, bro. You're off.
I see your picture. You're roid raging. You're roid raging, bro. You're roid raging. You're roid raging. Stop. Let him finish. Let him land his plane.
Okay. I can't wait, bro. Y'all about to get this work. Y'all about to get this work. You telling me to be quiet, bro?
Yeah, why do I get these people on my shows, everyone? Why?
Y'all sound like.
Anyway, we're gonna calm down. Let's just read the Bible. Luke
No. I promise you, I'm gonna get you for that.
Here's what's gonna happen. Let me tell you what's not gonna happen on this show. You're not, and no one's going to just repeatedly interrupt and disrespect me on my show. So if you want a time to talk, you will be given a time to talk. No problem. We're not afraid of anything up here. You're not gonna, and you know that's not gonna happen. Let me read the Bible, and then we'll go back and forth.
Actually, your language. That's
okay.
You gotta wait in the back.
Why you laughing?
You gotta wait in the back till it's your turn. Just listen. Go ahead.
Luke 22:1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Right. So now we'll just get to the point. You guys can read this contextually if you want to. Now, for time's sake, we'll just go to this. Look at this. Verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed. Contextually, what the hell else could this be talking about other than the Passover that's supposed to be killed, the 14th day of the month? And he sent Peter and John, saying, go and prepare us the Passover, that we may eat. Clearly, this is in reference to the Passover that was given to us in Exodus chapter 12. Anyone saying, and how we know is furthermore, because look, it says unleavened bread. Ironically, what is associated right with Passover is unleavened bread. That's what's eaten during Passover, right? So it's obvious to anyone that has eyes and ears, this is talking about the Passover that was given to us in Exodus 12. If that's the case, which it clearly is, it tells us in verse 16 that Christ ate the Passover. So these are the things that Yahusha is going to have to directly address. So we can get him back on.
All of you. I'm going to show you exactly how it works.
The nigga been talking this
You've still been talking this whole time.
It's prio.
All right. So
that's early dawn. Orthros is a Greek word. That's an early dawn morning. But coming to the temple, right?
Oh, I can't believe I got to do this again. Yahusha, you've been in the back channel this entire time. This guy was talking this whole time. Yo, what is it called? Everybody when it's like a cycle. Is that what it's called in the gym when people are on roids and they're on a cycle? This cycle done got to his Abdullah Ablangata so much he didn't even hear us say that he's in the back chat. He's still talking. You know what? Hold on. Is he still talking? Yahusha. Do you know what I'm asking you to explain right now, brother?
You're asking me to explain a dawn start with a Passover.
No.
Right?
I'm asking you to explain Luke 22 verses pretty much 1 to 16, but in particular, so you don't have to read 16 verses, verses 1 and then verse 7 all the way into 16. And tell me what Passover is that talking about? Is it talking about any other Passover than the one given to us in Exodus 12?
He might have clicked out of his browser so he can pull it up. I think an easier one would have been Ezekiel 46.
It's just the one that came to mind.
This is pretty long,
no,
but he can't. I think he clicked out. So
yeah. So for the audience sake, I'll explain why I went here. So in Luke 22, it tells us that Christ ate the Passover. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that. It's very clear. All right. It says that Christ ate the Passover. That's very clear. Then it tells us in Corinthians, and I'll get other witnesses in the Gospels. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7, it says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, for as you are unleavened, for even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us." So it says Christ ate Passover and he also died on Passover. How does that disprove his point and prove ours? He believes it's basically morning to morning. That would mean the morning prior to him eating Passover would have been the beginning of a day, and the following morning would have been the next day. The issue with that is Christ gets crucified the afternoon after he eats Passover. That's, according to their logic, it would be another day, which would mean Christ didn't eat Passover and die on Passover. But the Bible says he both ate Passover and died on Passover. So hope that's very
Did you hear that, brother?
Yeah, I heard it. So no worries. We can keep it at that. But I promise you, I'm the only one that can finish. So we'll go finish into the end. I hope it works.
Well, no, let's do this real quick because I got something. I got something quick for you. The Sabbath day is about
because you don't get your schedule right.
So
no, I can't talk to anything about work if you don't get your schedule right.
Is the Sabbath day about
employees? Schedules are for employees, not for people that are looking for jobs.
Hey, brother, can you just let us read the Bible? Thanks.
Yeah. So I'm asking you: is the Sabbath day? Is the Sabbath day about?
For your insults, Hasad, which means kindness, I will get you.
He's gonna get you.
Oh wow! You're gonna get me.
I keep laughing. Okay. I promise you. I know. I love the jokes.
The Sabbath day is about 24 hours, right? Okay. You know what?
I'm gonna get got. Everyone, you heard that?
Deshaun, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
All right. It's kind of off topic. Is that cool or?
That's good.
Okay. I want to know if you guys ever did like a video regarding like Christ in the Old Testament and who he was, because I agree with you guys when you was going against IUIC about whether Christ was Yahweh or Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know if you guys wanted to further on his role in the Old Testament.
I'm 100% sure we have. I
Yeah,
just
we
don't.
just did one. Firstborn of all creation on my channel.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Any other
Mhm.
questions, brother?
Why is everybody in a third world country today?
Right. All right, brother. We appreciate you. All right. Well, there's a link that is pinned in the live chat. Damn, man, Deacon, everyone just hates me now. There was a point in time where I was, I was liked kind of. Now everyone hates my guts. But all praises to the Most High. In the meantime, make sure everybody y'all like and share the video.
Okay, let me share my screen so I can just finish this little what I wanted to
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
do. All right, so Leviticus 16,
You're sharing
right? I'm
Okay.
sharing my screen. Leviticus 16. This is where we first get to the law about the Day of Atonement. All right, so everybody be having questions, the do's and the don'ts. I just wanted to roughly go through this real quick. There's a lot to do with animal sacrifice here. If you want a more thorough breakdown on that, then look at the video I just did, the mystery demon God told Israel to sacrifice to. Sounds crazy, right? The mystery demon God told Israel to sacrifice to. This is going into Leviticus 16. Azazel, where some people believe that Azazel, in the English it says scapegoat, but in the Hebrew it's Azazel. Some people take this to be a demon. Now, they only take this to be a demon because of the book of Enoch. I just wanted to be clear, meaning dubious, the goat of departure, right? So the reason why people are saying, oh, on the Day of Atonement, we would transmit our sins to the demon Azazel is because of the book of Enoch. In the book of Enoch, and these are actually on the ancient manuscripts. This is actually on the ancient manuscripts, the fragments of what's left of the book of Enoch. So yes, this is 2nd century literary work from that time period. And it says in verse 8, 1 Enoch 10 and 8, it says, and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel, to him ascribe all sin. So you remember how we put all the sin on Azazel, that goat?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that that is us putting all the sins on the goat and then leading it to the wilderness for Azazel, the demon, to have it there in the wilderness. But that is not the case. When you look at ancient sources, that's why I say, I hope y'all take a look at this video I just did. We explained that Josephus, Philo, some other early sources, and even the context of Leviticus 16, Azazel is a place. Azazel is a place. It's a location. It's not a demonic entity. It's a location outside the camp. So the symbology of it is we put all of our sins on this goat and we send it out to Azazel, the wilderness of Azazel, to remove the sins from the camp. All right. So that was just a brief synopsis on that. But that was given when we first got the law of atonement. Okay. So as far as Hasad, you can go into Leviticus 23, dealing with why we move the weekly Sabbath a day forward. And then I got the Greek Septuagint showing that it is a double Sabbath when you get done with that. I guess I could just leave my screen up. You want to just...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So yeah, let's go to, what is it? Start at 26, right? Or start at, what did it say, the 10th?
Yeah, right there. Or no,
okay, 27.
So Leviticus 23 and start at verse 26. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. So it's clear. It starts off very clear. The Day of Atonement takes place on the 10th month. It shall be
the 10th day. The 10th day. You said the 10th month. 10th day, 7th month.
Day of the 7th month. I apologize. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And you
Afflict
shall
your souls means no food, no water, no pleasure.
Mhm. It says, and you shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. Right.
Okay.
So now let's get to the disputed verse, the disputed text, verse 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest. What shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest? The day of atonement. It says, and you shall afflict your souls. Then it says, in the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening unto evening shall you celebrate your Sabbath. Now, what is this doing? Normally, the Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath this week would have been on the 8th day of the month, right? Because 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, that's the phases of the moon. That's why when you see the Sabbath being kept in the Bible, it's always kept on the 1st, 8th, 15th, or 22nd, except for this week. Why is that? Because again, as we just read, the Day of Atonement is on the 10th day. And imagine if you had the Sabbath, which is on the 8th day. So you have the Sabbath on the 8th day, then the following day would be the 9th. And then you have to go what? Go to work, go work a 16-hour shift outside doing heavy labor right into a dry fast? No. So because of that, the Most High pushed the Sabbath a day ahead. That way, the day prior to the Day of Atonement, which would now be the Sabbath, you have a day where you can rest your body, you can eat, and you can drink water to prepare yourself for the following day, which is the Day of Atonement. Hebrew Elevation, there are no scriptures that show the Sabbath falling on the 14th. They're just not. So you're more than welcome to come on here and show us, though. But this is in the Greek Septuagint of Leviticus 23 and 32, showing you that speaking of two different events. It says, it shall be a holy Sabbath to you, and you shall humble your souls. From the 9th day of the month, from evening to evening, shall you keep your Sabbaths, plural, because you have the weekly Sabbath, which is now on the 9th day of the month for this particular week. And then you have the following day, which is the Day of Atonement, which are both treated as Sabbaths. So all praise to the Most High. Jacob, you're live. What's going on?
What's up, man? I got a question on marriage.
Okay, Ronan. This just real quick. We got other people though, so can you try to make this one quick?
I'm
Because
gonna try my best. I got a question on marriage, bro.
I got you, bro. No disrespect, but you habitually come on here, and that's not to say that you're not welcome, but you're a reoccurring guest, so we want to get other people on as well. But go ahead.
You're
Yeah,
a
I mean,
you're a serial bug out.
You're hey, I'm not as crazy as these other guys, clearly.
Well,
So,
That's true. No, you know what? That's true. That's
He's got a
true.
great point there.
There's brown shit and there's green shit.
there you go. There you go. So I got a question on marriage.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Deuteronomy 22 and 13.
Okay.
It says, if any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasion of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Mhm.
Then shall the father of the damsel and the mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity.
Mhm.
My question to you is, in the ancient days, and according to the Torah,
Mhm.
if a man found a woman that was not a virgin
Mhm.
and then he hates her, does he have the right to divorce her?
So what this is speaking on, if a man is given a woman and it's the father presents this woman, his daughter, as if she's a virgin, and the man finds out that she's not, then verse 15, then the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity. What are the tokens of her virginity? That would be like the bed sheets. So they would keep the bed sheets as evidence, because when you how do I say this? When you pop the cherry, there's blood, and then you bleed on the sheet. And they would take that as evidence that this woman was in fact a virgin when the man laid down with him. So,
Okay.
so that's what it's referring to contextually. Repeat your question just so I make sure. Go ahead.
So because when we jump down to verse 20 and 21,
Hmm.
I'm getting the sense that if a man was getting married and he found his woman not a virgin, he has the right to divorce her.
If she was presented as one, because of course there's a woman who, if her husband dies, then you don't have to worry. This law would not apply. This would
Correct.
only apply if the woman was presented as if she was a virgin. Because here's the thing, you got to take this into account. Now there could potentially be sin on the brother's part. Like, for example, let's say I had a daughter and my daughter had a falling out with her husband and she had no legal justification for separating from him. And then I present her to you as if this woman's a virgin and you lay down with her. What has now happened? You've now committed adultery, right?
Right.
Right. So that's a law to prohibit something like that.
Okay. So you're saying you're putting a stipulation. You're saying if she presents herself as a virgin and you go into her and you find her that she's not a virgin and you hate her for it, you can divorce her, right?
Well, beyond divorce, I think it says she's supposed to be destroyed.
But today, obviously, because even though in the but here's the thing that I found out too is in the majority text, I'm finding out this Texas Receptus is trash. But in the majority text, the story of the woman being stoned for committing adultery, that's not even there.
You're right. In John 8, you're right.
That's not even there. So with that being said, let's just say we can't put her to death because we're not in our land. We don't have autonomy. The best thing that you can the best thing you can do is separate from her and write her a bill of divorce, correct?
Nowadays, that would be the best thing you could do. I would agree.
Okay. So and if a woman presents herself as a virgin and you go into her and then you find out that she's not, you have the right to get rid of her. And it's not a sin.
No.
Wait, hold on. In the text that you read, the father's involved, right, Hasad?
Yes.
Yeah, the father has. So it's not just a woman you meet at the bar saying that she's a virgin, bro. Because I'm sure you got finessed because you ain't got no game. But in our culture and customs, the father was involved in marrying or giving away his virgin, his daughter.
Hey, yo, Deacon, you got an issue, bro? We got an issue?
Yeah, I got an issue, bro. You just came at my MT. You just not my MT, my TR.
Man, it's trash, bro.
Nah, bro. Don't never come at the TR, bro. We're not playing about the BT.
All right, man. Well,
I like the way you did that, Ronan. What's up? We got an issue? Yeah.
For real. Like, no, he's got some passive aggressiveness. Like, bro, I'm sorry that I cut you in your doctrine all the time, bro. But hey, you don't got to take it out on me.
Who should I take it out on then?
Take it out on your bald ass head, nigga.
He's angry.
Ghost, that's a 10-9 round.
He's angry.
So thank you for answering my question about that.
Ronan, are you still married to that white girl though?
Who said I was married to a white woman?
You don't remember when you first came on here, you had that white girl screaming at you?
That wasn't, bro. I was in public first and foremost, and she wasn't talking to me.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm telling the truth, bro. But hold on, bro. Hold on. So thank you for answering that question. Even if it's my understanding that even if her father isn't involved, if she presents herself in a certain way and you find out the contrary, right? Let's be real. Hold on, bro.
You keep saying a certain way, Ronan. It's not a certain way. What do you mean by a certain way?
She presents herself as a virgin.
Okay, but you said a certain way. You got to be specific.
Okay, so she's presenting herself as a virgin. You find out that she's not. You have the right to divorce her. If you don't want to be with a whore, you don't have to.
No. That's not it. You have to go in unto her.
Wow, that's crazy.
You go in unto her, and you got to get, if you don't get the token of her virginity, then that's the proof that she's not.
Okay, so then at that point, you can divorce her.
Yeah. Notice.
Okay, thank you. That was it. Let's just keep it simple. All right. Now, my final question.
Real quick, Ronan. Notice in that example, though, the father and the mother have the tokens of virginity. That's what Deacon's emphasizing, that they are actively involved in that particular situation.
Okay, even if she wasn't involved, bro, if her parents were dead and she says I'm a virgin, and then you find out that she's not, you can go to the elders and say, listen, I don't want to be with this woman anymore. What are we talking about?
Okay, well, here's the thing though too as well that we have to take into consideration.
Y'all be simping for these women. I'd be noticing that.
Who's you, nigga? I just agreed with you. What are you talking about? Deacon
Hakah simps for them because he used to be a pimp. So that's why he simps for them.
Stop it, Ronan. You got to stop. When you first came on here and you were living with that white bitch, I never said anything about it. I laughed at it. So stop. If anybody's simping, it's you're simping.
Now
for
you're
an
slandering. You're lying.
So can
You see that how he just come out here and lie?
Ronan,
Hold
we're gonna
on.
give you 90 seconds so that you can land your plane. Are you done with your line of questioning?
Pertaining to that topic, I had a second one.
Okay, well, that's enough for today, Ronan. Shalom, brother. All right, where we at? Let's go over some of that tape, or anybody else click the link on the panel. We can go over your
today, everyone. I'm the good guy. All right.
No, I'm not. I didn't crash. I never crash anymore. The last time I crashed was on that dude when remember he said give God Logic's $50 back.
Oh my God.
That was the last time I crashed. Anyway, y'all can click the link if you got serious questions or serious smoke, please. If not, we're gonna go over some crazy footage that Hasad got from this weekend. Hasad is in Atlanta. For those of you who don't know, he is in the ATL. So let's pull that up.
Let me pull up this video. All right. Hold on.
Fear. Who does God?
So, in case anyone thinks that I'm just picking on this guy, we just got done holding camp with our brothers over at Gaborim, and this is pretty much their camp spot. And we went and grabbed some food before the Sabbath, and this guy's teaching in their camp spot. And so Hasad's in town. Everyone's like, "Hey, go talk to him. Go talk to him." And so I go and talk to him, and then this is what happens.
God fear no man.
So I ask him, "Who does God fear?" He says, "No man. God does not fear no man."
Get Isaiah 11:1. God doesn't fear anybody or anything. No. Isaiah 11:1. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Who's that?
The branch, Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 2. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. So Jesus fears the Lord?
Jesus doesn't fear the Lord.
But it says, read it again. And the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
What verse is that?
Isaiah 11:1.
Read the whole thing.
That is, we started from the very first verse.
Yes, verse 2.
He already did that. I already did that.
Read verse 2.
Okay, read verse 2. Verse 2. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, and the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord.
The fear of the Lord. It will rest upon who?
Jesus.
Not Jesus.
Who?
As a man, Jesus coming into the earth as a man.
And he feared the
The
Lord.
fear of the Lord as a man will rest upon him. That fear of the Lord as a man is to go to the cross.
Right, so he feared the Lord.
Yes, as a man.
Okay, so God was afraid of God.
God's afraid of himself.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
I'm not.
We're not even.
What I'm saying is this. When God came into the earth in the place of Jesus,
He was afraid of God.
as a man,
As a man, he feared himself.
yes.
Yes?
As a man, he feared his father, God.
Okay, but God doesn't fear anybody.
No.
But Jesus fears God.
As a man, in the place of a man, he fears God.
Put a one in the chat. Do we all understand what's going on? So I asked him about this scripture right here. And this is Isaiah 11:2. It says, I'll start verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow up out of its roots. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him. This is the Messiah. The Spirit of wisdom, understanding, the Spirit of counsel, of might, of knowledge, and of the fear of the Lord. It says that Christ is going to fear the Lord. Christians believe Jesus Christ is the Lord.
He fears his father, man.
So they're not going to say, well, here's what they'll probably say. Well, it's not fear like you're afraid of something, but it's just talking about he's reverencing. Okay,
No,
well,
you know what? That's a cut on IUIC because they believe that Christ is Yahweh.
right. So
Now, again, they don't believe
he's afraid of himself then.
they don't believe that Christ is the Father, but they're saying that we don't know the Father, we never heard of the Father. They're saying the Father's name is not Yahweh. They're saying that Christ is Yahweh. But damn, this is a cut on them. But let me answer this real quick. To Sister Ann, please, can you not come in here telling us what other camps teach? If somebody asks us a question, that's because they want to hear our perspective. Every camp does not have the same understanding. So please factor that in when you come in this chat. I don't know what them brothers teach.
Much love to him though. But so it says Jesus fears the Lord. So if I'm asking him a question about the fear of the Lord. All right, let's go back.
Who does God pray to?
The fear of the Lord.
Pray to.
So now I'm just okay. Let's ask him another question.
One second, Hasad. Bet Zalil.
Yo,
What's up, brother?
how y'all doing? Thanks for having me on. Shalom.
Shalom. What's going
I had
on?
a quick question about the keeping the Sabbath in accordance with the moon. I usually do it by either just observing in the sky or going on one of those track the moon apps. But I noticed something peculiar. I think it should have fallen on either today or yesterday. But what I saw was it skipped from a half. It went from like a waxing crescent straight to a waxing gibbous. And it should have been like a phase in that in between that where it's directly on half moon. So from what it looks like, it was just 14 days without a distinct moon phase. Have y'all seen anything like that before? And if so, how would you observe? Because I believe I'm correct. Y'all also observe by the phases of the moon too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see that in order for me to be able to address it.
Yeah, you're whatever app you're using and whatever app you're using, whatever app we're using and whatever app you're using.
Okay.
Also predicated on the time of the day is coming in. That's a factor as well.
Okay. One last question. Do y'all have y'all like published a calendar of the holy days? Cause like
Yes.
okay, where can I find that?
Go
Genesis.
go ahead, dude.
Yeah, Genesis-calendar.com.
Yes.
Genesis-calendar.com.
Somebody
All right,
can
appreciate it.
Gotcha,
Okay.
brother.
No problem.
All right, take it easy.
Yes, sir. Sure. All right. So now I asked this individual.
One more second, because the Day of Atonement takes precedent over this. A brother is asking, can we go over some of the do's and don'ts? That's like a long list of things, but if you want to narrow it down to two things, Hasad, or really one thing, well, really two things, right? Remember, Yahushua said all the laws are
Summarized in two, yeah.
Summarized in two. So all the do's and don'ts are summarized in two things when you deal with the Day of Atonement. You don't work because it's the Sabbath. And that so the Sabbath restrictions, and then there's extra restrictions. That's why the ancient sources, what? Yeah, the ancient sources say it's the Sabbath of Sabbaths, because it's a Sabbath with it has weekly Sabbath restrictions, then it has extra restrictions. No food, no water, no pleasure. So whatever your pleasure is, whatever feels good to you, of course, don't be simple. If praying to God feels good to you, pray to God. Anything that has to do with the Most High and His kingdom, do that. But things that are pleasurable to you, refrain from, abstain from. It's very simple. And somebody said, look at Debak, man. Debak is funny. No, I'm not talking about I know they probably follow the same calendar. I'm just saying these camps are break-offs of a break-off of a break-off of a break-off.
Yeah, so Matazaz is watching too. So hey, just
no. In all honesty, so everybody's creating their own camp, and I don't know what they're teaching. So that's all I'm saying is I can't, if somebody's asking us a question, we can only give our understanding, because I really don't know what camps are teaching. They might not all teach everything like we do. But again,
that's why everyone listen, I gotta kind of echo what the brother's saying. It's really simple at the end of the day, everyone.
That's
Everyone
it.
just
Watch
has
this. Watch how locked in we are, Hassan. I'm gonna
Everyone just
start
has
putting
to-
it. I'm gonna
yeah.
start putting it in the chat while you're saying it. Go ahead.
everyone should just join Genesis. That's it. It's that simple. That's
it.
all
Look.
that has to happen.
Hey,
Everyone
while
can
you were saying that, I was typing that in the chat. We're locked in. We're laser locked
all
in.
that has to happen. Everyone joins Genesis. Commanding General Johanna joins Genesis. Bishop Nathaniel joins Genesis, and then we get up out of here.
That's it.
And, I'm playing. Y'all know I'm just joking. So much love and respect to all the brothers teaching the truth in sincerity. All the camp stuff is, it's good for order and structure, but it ain't, we're still Israelites at the end of the day. So all praises to the Most High. Let's get back to the video.
Jesus Christ prayed for Peter.
No, who does God pray to? I'm asking.
Okay, God to pray.
Yeah, does God pray to people?
No.
Did Jesus pray?
Yes.
To who?
To his father.
Right.
As a man.
Okay.
Hasad,
Anything you want to say?
Yeah.
man, that he threw you an alley hoop. See, when a Christian says Jesus only prays to the Father as a man, then where do we go, Hasad?
Revelation, or was it Zechariah?
Zechariah. I should have asked the chat. In Zechariah 1, Christ is the angel of the Lord, and he's praying to his Father, asking him, how long? And his Father answers him. So never let them try to say he only prays to the Father as a man. He did it in his pre-existence, in a pre-incarnation.
Yeah.
In a
Before
whole
he added
different ontology. Go ahead, Salakia.
Before he added flesh to his nature.
What the?
I don't even speak.
I handed her the mic, Deacon. I handed her the mic. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm just kind of like picking on this guy. Let's let this woman say something. So here's what happens to Deacon.
You're a child of man.
Nope. Mind you, Deacon, that's his mic. So, I respect him because he has a mic, and then when someone comes up and asks a question, he'll give you another mic. He got a 2-mic system. And so he hands me the mic, and I just give the mic to her. He tries to take it back, and she says, nope. And listen to what she says.
I'm using the mic. What are you even talking about?
I'm going to stop pausing it. Yo, Deacon, anytime someone starts to be unruly on here, I'm just going to start saying that. I'm using the mic. Watch this.
Let me. Any question about the Day of Atonement is going to take precedent, Hasad, because that's why we're here today.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, no brushing your teeth, bro. And it's not even about drinking. It's about you're supposed to be in a state of mourning and affliction. You're supposed to be in a state of mourning and affliction. That is gonna feel good to you. You're gonna get a little. It's gonna refresh your mouth a little bit. I don't think that was pause, but it's gonna refresh your mouth. You're gonna, some of the liquid. So, it's gotta refrain. Go ahead.
Like, seriously, you're just here. I was just having a good time enjoying my birthday gift at a convention, and then all of a sudden, boom, forced religion and all that stuff, not even making any sense. And here's the thing, I have autism, and you're not even, like, making any sense. It's like,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
have you even read the Bible?
Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are.
Hey, Deacon, I'm making sense. Now, listen, this young lady she just says she's autistic, so we're not going to use an autistic person as
Look at this. Look at this right here.
What?
Look
When
at
is the Day of Atonement? I'm in Genesis, but in San Antonio, nobody is out there.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're not in Genesis anymore. How about that?
oh, wow.
He just got a live put off. How, bro, we put it in the nationwide chat. Who's
Hey, Yaquab, Nakawam.
you were in Genesis?
All right. But so the young lady, it's to the point where she can even tell that this guy's making no sense. And again, she has autism, so let's be nice and kind. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Let's just keep going.
Because you're bringing up Bible verses, and this guy, he's bringing up some Bible verses, but he's not even making any sense. Like, how does he not know that Jesus is the child child of man. Like, he was born to human parents, Mary and Joseph.
That's like basic, right?
And then he died for our sins and all of that stuff, and then came back. And yet this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. So, sir, I'm going to say this one thing and one thing clear.
Go ahead.
Don't you ever, and I mean ever, claim that you're a child of God.
Oh my God.
Yo, am I horrible, chat? No, hold on, chat. Am I horrible for this? Does this make me bad? Am I going to hell? I thought that was pretty good. Am I horrible for that?
No, that was good. No, you didn't even look. She kept it real from whatever spirit. It wasn't whatever spirit that was on her. Even the devil is right sometimes.
She said, "Don't you ever claim to be a child of God." Hey! Out of the mouth of babes.
Somebody said, "Out of the mouth of slaves, brother. Not out of the mouth of babes. Out of the mouth of slaves, as it is written."
All right, we got Hebrew elevation. What's going on? You're live. I can't.
He's having mic issues. You might want to disconnect from your headphones or something. Disconnect from your headphones.
Jesus as a man. Until he gets his stuff right.
She said, "Don't you ever call yourself a child of God."
Don't you ever, and I mean ever, claim that you're a child of God when you're not even studying the Bible and you're not even doing what God intends to do. Like, you're just spreading on lies and lies.
Hold on, please.
You never got to say nothing else.
Damn.
You see?
Shut him down, crew.
Aye.
Lost for words. Okay.
Really studied. Just reach out to me then personally on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Brother Hasad.
Yeah, reach out to Hasad, man. We're gonna get on them Negroes that's supposed to be, you know what I mean, running the program. We're gonna get on them niggas that's supposed to be programming over Texas.
Hebrew elevation, you're live.
Yo, shalom. Can you hear me?
Shalom, brother. What's good?
All right. Yeah, I got a scripture that shows the Sabbath fell on the 14th day of the month.
Okay.
Bring it out.
All right. So yeah, according to Leviticus 23:11, it says the priest has to wave a sheaf the day after the weekly Sabbath, right?
What verse?
Leviticus 23:11. When the priest does the wave sheaf, he does that the day after the weekly Sabbath. Do you agree with that?
That's the day after unleavened bread, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be our weekly Sabbath.
Right. It happens the day after though, because it says in Leviticus 23:11. I'll pull that real quick because here's the point, right? Just to frame it. So yeah, Leviticus 23:11, it says, "And he shall wave a sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. The priest shall wave it." So you agree that that Sabbath right there is the weekly Sabbath?
The Sabbath, yes, I do believe that is talking about the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Or it has to be in that context.
But wait, you're saying he waves it after the weekly Sabbath though, right? It's not just like, that's a regular Sabbath, would you say?
What do you mean? Is it a regular Sabbath?
I'm asking, the Sabbath in Leviticus 23:11, is that the regular 7-day Sabbath that happens every week?
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
All right, that's the point. So check this out, right? So Leviticus 23:14, it says the Israelites, you can't eat parched corn until the same day he waves the sheaf. So the day that you're eating the parched corn, it means the day prior to that was a Sabbath. You following?
No.
Right, I'll just make the point then. So in Joshua 5 and verse 10, it tells you that the Israelites ate the parched corn on the 15th day of the month. So according to Leviticus 23, if you're eating the parched corn, that means the day before that was the Sabbath. But they're eating the parched corn on the 15th day of the month in Joshua chapter 5 and verse 10.
I don't follow that at all. I don't see where in Joshua 5 I can pull it up to where it says it's the 14th day of the month where it's the Sabbath. You said Joshua what?
Yeah, Joshua 5 and verse 9 and verse 10.
All right. Joshua 5 and verse 9, it says, And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt
My
from
bad, it's verse 10 and verse 11.
Okay. Of Egypt from you. Okay, I'll just get to verse 10. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the lands on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the self-same day.
So you see, they eat the parched corn on the day after the Passover, right? So that's the 15th day of the month, yeah?
Yeah, but where does it say that the 14th is the Sabbath?
Well, the day you eat the parched corn is always a day after the Sabbath, because you can only eat the parched corn the day the priest waves the sheaf.
Right.
And Leviticus 23 and 11 says the priest has to wave the sheaf the day after what? It says,
right.
He shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath.
Right. So are you saying
the priest? Yeah, go on.
So are you saying the Passover is the Sabbath then?
Yeah, the Passover was the Sabbath on that year.
Okay.
The Passover fell on the Sabbath, a weekly Sabbath.
Right. So how would they cook then if you're not allowed to cook on the Sabbath?
I don't know. I've not thought of that. But the point being, the Passover fell on the Sabbath. So regardless of whether they cooked or not, well, they'd cook at sunset anyway. So when you cook, sunset is when you sacrifice the lamb. That's when you do all your cooking, do all your works. That's when the Sabbath's over. But the point being,
when Sabbath,
the Sabbath fell on the 14th.
It's not when the Sabbath is over. That's when you're over. The point you're making is you're having to extrapolate and interpolate and really walk us down 7 New York blocks to make your point. It's really not clear, and you have to have answers for every question that we're asking when you're trying to make this point. And you're saying it's just for that year. So are you a Friday to Saturday keeper?
So check it. It's as simple as the parched corn. If they've got to eat it, if they're eating parched corn, it's telling you that's the day after the Sabbath. That was the 15th day of the month, because that's the day of unleavened bread. That's the day after Passover, bro. So regardless of you asking me all these other questions, the point still stands. This verse proves the Sabbath was the 14th day of the month.
My questions are basically proving that your understanding is flawed. So again, are you a Friday to Saturday Sabbath keeper?
Nah, I keep a Sabbath from Saturday morning, because the scripture says the day starts at sunrise in Matthew 28 and other verses. But beside that point, what day do they have to eat the parched corn according to your understanding? Because clearly it's significant in Joshua 5 and 11, it says they ate parched corn the self-same day. So do you know what day of the month you eat parched corn?
Here's what we're going to do. Go ahead, Ariella.
Con. So, brother, do you know the word for parched corn in Joshua 5 and 11?
I know it's different to the word in Leviticus 23, the Hebrew word.
Then your point's moot. That's the point.
No,
So
it's
you're
not mute because
no. The word's moot, not mute.
He's going to accent.
It's still parched corn though.
No.
Is it not parched corn?
Hold on.
It's Joshua 5 and 10. Parched corn's not parched corn.
It's a different Hebrew word.
It's real quick. We don't gotta all over talk each other, but this is the brother Ariella's point. In Joshua 5, when it talks about parched corn, or the old corn, or matter of fact, let me get the one for parched corn. My bad, I got old corn. Parched, kolah. It's not the same word. It only appears 4 times, and it's not the same one that appears in Leviticus 23.
Yeah, but that argument is hella weak. That's saying it says listen here, it says here over there. The word listen and here are different words. So your point's moot. That
why would it? Yeah, real quick, brother. So why would it use a different word then?
Clearly, there's more than one word for parched corn in the Hebrew. Because the burden of proof would be on you, right? So what's the distinction between the parched corn here and the parched corn in Leviticus? And why is the translator rendered them both the same as being parched corn?
You would have to ask the translator.
You see, that's a cop-out.
It's
But
not a
it's clear
cop-out.
as day. It says they ate parched corn the self-same day. So what is the significance of eating parched corn according to scripture in the season of Passover, Ariella? What's the significance of eating parched corn? Do you know?
Listen, when they came, just first and foremost, I'll say this, right? Descriptive text is not necessarily prescriptive text. The Israelites do things off all the time. So that's just one side point, right?
Oh,
But
so they was
again,
off. Okay.
relax, brother. Right. So again, when we're looking at Leviticus 23 and verse 14, right? Actually, we'll read it from the time a little bit further up, right? It says, I'm sorry, verse 10. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye come into the land which I give unto you, ye shall reap the harvest thereof. Then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of the harvest unto the priest," right? When you grow things, right? When you grow different types of crops, you're gonna have some crops that are gonna mature faster than the other crops. Hence the term first fruits, right? So it's saying you're gonna eat of the first fruits. Right? Then you shall bring the sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. Right. So this would be the 23rd day of the month, right? Because Feast of Unleavened Bread is from the 15th to the 21st. Then the 22nd will be the Sabbath. So on the 23rd is when you will bring that sheaf, and this is how you start your count for the feast of first fruits, right? It says, "And ye shall offer the day when you wave the sheaf a he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor. And drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread," right? So this would be more likely leavened bread, "nor parched corn," right? And this word here, let's take a look at it real quick. It's the Hebrew word qualia, right? Qualia, okay? You're not going to eat that. "Neither ye shall eat until the self same day unto that ye brought an offering unto your to your God, a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings." So you bring that after Feast of Unleavened Bread. Unleavened bread already happens. So you're making unleavened bread with what? With the grain that is in the land from was already mature. How can you keep unleavened bread without wheat or without grain, without barley? You can't. We're told to eat unleavened bread for 7 days straight, are we not?
Yeah, parched corn and unleavened bread are not the same thing, my brother. So the
I
parched corn in
understand.
Leviticus 23 and 14, is that the same parched corn that eaten in Joshua chapter 5? I need
It's
to
not
know.
this.
Is
It's
it the
not this.
same?
It's not the same Hebrew word. It's not the same
But
Hebrew word.
is it the same bread though? Because it can be a different word, but it can still be the same. Like if I tell you to
Okay.
listen or I tell you to hear, I'm telling you the same thing. It's two different words, bro. It's a
Okay.
distinction without a difference. So that's a
Okay.
moot point right
So,
there.
so let's
So the
listen.
point
Let's read.
is it the same parched bread or not, my bro?
Let's read Joshua 5 and 10, right? It says, "And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land." This isn't the new harvest. This is the old corn of the land. "On the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the self same day." This is
And what corn? Wait, and what corn?
and it says in the English
Did say
in
parched
parched
corn.
corn. Yes, but
All
it's a different
right
Hebrew
then.
word. It's a different
And I
Hebrew
think I
word.
heard parched corn in Leviticus
Real quick,
23.
Okay, Hebrew elevation. I'm confused, and I know the chat is confused. So I really want to try to like get what you're saying. That's why I said it seems like you're really walking down 7 New York blocks instead of jaywalking. So are you saying that in Joshua 5 they're eating the corn on the 15th day?
Yeah, that's right. Because we all know, right? The morrow after the Sabbath is unleavened bread, the 15th day of the month. But what's significant about that in verse 11 is it tells us that's the day they ate the parched corn. It says the self same day they ate the parched corn, right? So now we need to understand, well, according to Torah, what day are they allowed to eat parched corn? All we do is jump down to Leviticus 23 and 14, and it says, and ye shall neither eat bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the self same day, says the word self same day again, that ye brought an offering unto your God. So now we got to figure out, well, what day do they bring an offering to God? Because this is the day that they eat the parched corn. Leviticus 23:11 says, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you on the morrow after the Sabbath. Meaning that whatever day the Israelites eat the parched corn, the day before it was the weekly Sabbath.
So
That's
you're
why
saying
when I came up,
I want to
go
let you
ahead.
finish your thought. I promise. Are you saying then that there was a double Sabbath, a back-to-back double Sabbath then right there? Because you're saying
Well,
Passover is a Sabbath, and then the following day, the 15th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, is a Sabbath. So you're saying there was a back-to-back double Sabbath between Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Well, only a Sabbath in the sense of it's a holy day, right? So you could call, the feast days Sabbaths. But what I'm talking about specifically is just that the weekly Sabbath is in frame right here, because you guys have a way of counting your weekly Sabbath as always being the 15th, etc. So right here, we can see like Hasad, right? Leviticus 23 and 11, when it says the morrow after the Sabbath, is that talking about the weekly Sabbath, bro?
The day after the Sabbath, yeah.
So for you, that would have to be one of the 15th, or I don't know the other days you call it, but it
Yeah.
has to
No,
fall
no,
on one of
it
those
would have to
days.
be the 16th.
16th.
Yeah, the 16th. Day
Okay, yeah,
after
the
the Sabbath.
16th, the 16th,
Yeah.
exactly. So here's where you would have a problem, bro, because it would have to be the 16th that they're doing this for you, right? But what we can see is it testifies in Joshua 5 and 10. They're doing this on the day, look, Joshua 5 and 11, and they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the self same day. So now this verse is saying they ate the parched corn on the day of unleavened bread. We know
If they
this is
give
the
the offering,
15th day.
what they're supposed to give, if this is the 16th day, they're supposed to give an offering. No, if this is the 15th day. Wait, you're saying this is the 15th day. We're saying it's this.
If it's the
Well,
day
you know it's
after
the
this.
Verse
15th day.
12 says it says verse 12 says the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land, right? So when we look at in the Torah, the manna doesn't fall on the Sabbath. So that means that the day prior wouldn't have been the Sabbath, according to what you're saying.
Yeah, of course it wasn't the Sabbath. The day prior wasn't the Sabbath because this is the day of unleavened bread, right?
But
So
the day of
that actually
unleavened
puts
bread
your
is a
wait,
Sabbath,
wait, wait,
though.
wait, 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 wait,
Is the
wait,
day of
hold on.
unleavened bread a Sabbath?
We agree to the
That
Feast
that
of
that, that actually cuts your own point because check what you just said there, right? So the following day, the manna stopped falling, and you said, well, we know the manna doesn't fall on the Sabbath. But according to you, the 15th day there would have had to have been a Sabbath.
Mhm.
It would have had to have been a Sabbath in Joshua chapter 5 and verse
But you're
11.
missing the point. You're missing the point, right? So it says, and they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover. They ate of old corn, unleavened cakes, and parched corn on the self same day. That day after the Passover, that's what they ate it, right? It says, and the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten the parched corn.
Yeah, bro, that's simple, bro. It's just telling you, look, man. So the day after they brought this wave offering and been eating parched corn, so it's the first day of the week. So now on the second day of the week, now they're just eating from the land because they've come to the land. They've given the Most High the offering. They're like, yo, Father, yeah, you've given us the land. We're waving the first fruits to you. And now the Most High's like, good, the land will provide now the following day. They're eating from the land. They don't need manna from heaven. But it doesn't take away the point that they ate parched corn right here on what day of the month, Ariella? According to
It
Joshua 5
doesn't
and
prove that
11,
the 14th is the Sabbath, brother.
Joshua, but yo, Ariella, what day of the month did they eat parched corn in Joshua 5 and 11?
It says that they ate it on the day after the Passover.
What day of the month is that?
That would be the 15th. But you said that the Passover, this is what you said. You
Is
said,
that the Sabbath?
no, wait, hold on, wait.
Oh, no, you got it. You got it.
You said that you have a Bible verse that can prove that the 14th is the Sabbath. Did you not say that?
I just proved it right there, bro.
No,
Yeah,
no, you did
proved it
not. No.
definitively.
How does that prove that when it literally says
Because you
that
have
they
to
ate?
understand what parched corn means. What does it mean to eat the parched corn, bro? There's a whole day that you have to eat that, bro. And you have to eat it a day after the Sabbath, bro. So if they're eating the parched corn on the 15th day of the month, what day came before the day they ate the parched corn? Ariella.
But here's why that
You
can't
trying-
make any sense though.
It
Hebrew
doesn't make sense.
elevation. Here's why it can't make any sense. Because when we had this discussion, Hasad already respectfully shut you down because you cannot cook on the Sabbath. If Passover was the Sabbath, how are we cooking and killing and roasting on the Sabbath? And you would have to say, okay, the 14th was the Sabbath and then the 15th is the Sabbath because the Bible says the 15th is the Sabbath. So that would mean it's a double Sabbath. We wouldn't even be able to keep Passover. So something in your interpretation is off.
Yeah, and
No,
Passover is
no,
never
no,
called a
no.
Sabbath. It's never called a Sabbath anywhere in the Bible.
No, he's saying that it fell, the weekly Sabbath fell on the Passover, but then how will we kill and cook the Passover?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that. I hear what you're saying, Deacon, but I'm just making the side point that nowhere in the Torah is the Passover called a Sabbath. It's just not.
I think he's not saying.
Let me respond to Deacon.
I want to make sure I understand what the brother's saying. I don't think he's saying that Passover is always the Sabbath. I think he's saying that there can be an occasion where Passover falls on the weekly Sabbath. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because I follow the Saturday Sabbath, so obviously it's always changing every month. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So this is the point that I raised earlier, and I think we're kind of echoing again. How is it that there can be an occasion where Passover falls on the Sabbath when specifically on Passover we have to kill an entire animal, we have to skin it, and then we have to cook it roast it with fire, kindle
build a whole altar basically.
But what time though, Hasad? What time do we have to do that though?
14th at evening.
Evening, right? And when does the Sabbath finish? At what time does it finish?
That's not the Sabbath.
No. But what time does the Sabbath finish?
When does a day begin?
Hebrew
Evening, elevation.
Right?
Yeah, that's the point. Is a day starts and begins at evening.
Now, because exactly. So you're saying evening, G. So the whole point, right, is it wouldn't even have to be restricting us doing the sacrifice, bro, because at evening the day is over. The Sabbath is already done. Now we can go back to sacrifice.
Here's the problem, sir. Here's the problem. If you know what, even if you got the first base, you're not getting the second base. Let's say you're right. Okay, it's the 14th at evening. That means the 15th, which is totally BS, and you'll get cut. Matter of fact, we're gonna camp out right here. Even if that was the case, back when you're saying in Joshua 5, how could we do that if the 15th is a Sabbath? Hello?
Wait, what you say? Say that again, bro. I wasn't following that. If the 15th, what?
You're saying that the 14th that evening means the 15th. So even if your Passover falls on your weekly Sabbath, you wouldn't be killing and cooking because it's the 14th that evening, which is the 15th. But the 15th is unleavened bread. It says it's a Sabbath.
Exactly.
Nah. Here's how I got it, bro. This is where you got it messed up. Check this out, right? So Matthew 28 and verse 1, right? The 14th at evening, check this out, right? It says, in the end of a Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of a week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. According to Matthew 28, it's saying the Sabbath ended at sunrise when it started to dawn toward the first day of the week. So the day doesn't start at sunset. So on the 14th day at evening, right? It's still the Sabbath. It's still the 14th day of the month. It's just sunset. According to the Bible, the new day starts at sunrise.
But
so it wouldn't be sacrificing it on the 15th. You're still sacrificing on the 14th day.
Which is the Sabbath though?
I'm going to directly respond to that.
Wait. So the 14th day at evening is still the 14th.
No, he's saying it's the end.
The day don't start at sunset. Obviously, that's another doctrine we're diving into, but the day definitely don't start in sunset. The Bible don't say that at all. I can show you
when does the day end? When does the day end?
So the day ends at sunrise.
So it's 12 hours?
No, a day.
Are you saying it's sunrise to sunrise?
Yeah, so there's two understandings of a day, right? Real quick. So it's a work day. The Sabbath is a work day. You rest from your work. Ezekiel 46 shows the working day is sunrise to sunset. So those are the hours you can't work, right? But the full day is sunrise to another sunrise, according to Matthew 28 and verse 1.
But
So
here's
full
what
starts at
here's,
28,
here's
but
what I'm asking, and I want to try to make this very simple. If your understanding is right, that in Joshua 5, the 14th, the weekly Sabbath fell on the Passover, and then the next day is a Sabbath, right?
Nah. The weekly Sabbath fell on the Passover. So how's it going to be another Sabbath? Wait, say
Okay.
that again.
Is the Feast of Unleavened Bread the Sabbath, according to the Bible? Yes or no?
the first day.
Do you mean it's like considered a Sabbath or a weekly Sabbath?
It's
Does the Bible call it a Sabbath?
I believe it calls it a Sabbath. Yeah.
okay. So that would mean that, according to your understanding, in Joshua 5, that would be a double Sabbath.
Okay. Yeah. Double Sabbath then. Yeah.
Okay. How are we killing and
Because you can't
cooking?
work that day.
How are we killing and cooking and doing all that work if that's a double Sabbath?
Okay, great question. Check this out. I got you. I've actually got the perfect verse for this, right? So this is Exodus chapter 12 and verse 15. It says, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house. Oh, wait, no, it's verse 16. And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. This is talking about the Sabbath, the day of, what is it? Unleavened bread, right? And in the seventh day
11.
there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done, because it's a Sabbath, in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. So, Deacon, would it have been lawful for them to make food on that day, even though it was a Sabbath?
But
you're talking about but you said Passover
Now,
is
can
a
you answer that
Sabbath.
though? Now, can you answer that though, please, Deacon? Because you asked me the question though.
Yeah, I'll answer it.
Would it have been lawful for them to cook
That's
and
so.
eat
Real
that
quick, I'm
day?
going to make sure I understand your position, and then I'm going to address it. That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
Okay. So in Exodus 12, your response is basically you're allowed to cook the Passover, even though you're not allowed to cook on the Sabbath, because Exodus 12 tells you that you're allowed to cook whatever. Well, you're allowed to do whatever you have to do for Passover, essentially.
No, that's not
As it
my
relates
point,
to
bro.
cooking. As it relates to cooking.
So my point is, right, on the Passover, you wouldn't be allowed to work in the context of Joshua chapter 5, because that Passover fell on a Sabbath. We can clearly see it. But it's easy though, because they would have prepared the food the day before. It's a preparation. And also, you don't have to sacrifice the Passover until sunset anyway. So by the time they're sacrificing the Passover, it's legal to do it because the Sabbath working hours have finished.
Right.
But it's still the Sabbath.
Right.
Because the day don't start at sunset.
Right. So here's how we know that that's not the case. And this goes right into proving that the day doesn't start from sunrise to sunrise. If we follow, because you brought up Matthew 28, the timeline of Christ's death, I want to ask you the same question that I asked the other person. I promise I'm addressing your point. Did Christ both eat Passover and die on Passover?
Yeah, he did, because the Feast of Unleavened Bread is called the Passover in
Right.
Luke chapter
I'm
22.
not talking about I understand. I'm not talking about the Feast of Unleavened Bread. I'm talking about the Passover specifically. Yes or no? Did he both eat and die on the Passover?
So I would say yes and no at the same time, because he
How does that
died
work?
on the second day of unleavened bread. But it's still considered a Passover, because I got a scripture just to back it up real quick.
You said he died on the
22
second day of unleavened bread?
Pardon?
You said he died the second day of unleavened bread?
Yeah, because Luke 22 and 1 says,
I'm gonna get the
now
hold on
the
a second.
feast of
I promise you I'm gonna let you. I promise you I'm gonna let
right,
you.
you
I
go.
promise you. He died the second day of unleavened bread, but the first day of unleavened bread is the Sabbath, right?
What you say? The second day of no, the first day of unleavened bread is a Sabbath, is
Right.
according to
Okay,
Leviticus 23, right?
I got you. Okay, so if the first day of unleavened bread is the Sabbath, we both agree. And you said Christ died the following day, which would be the second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. How is that the case when in Mark 15, verse 42 on down, it says that the day Christ died was the preparation day, that is the day before the Sabbath. So how does he die the day after the Sabbath and the day before the Sabbath at the same time?
Okay, I think that's a great verse you've took me to. 1 second. What verse did you go to again?
Mark chapter 15 and verse 42 specifically.
Oh, that's actually a cut to you. That's actually a cut to you. That actually proves
You're
my
saying this is a
point
cut
about
to
when
me.
the day starts. It is indeed.
Okay, well let's just examine it. So Mark 15 and
Real quick, while you're pulling that up, can I just bring out one verse real quick? The verse I was trying to pull.
That's fine, but we're gonna get back to this if that's all right.
Yeah, you know, it's within the same context. So
All
Luke
right,
22 and 1, yeah? It says, now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. So do you agree that every day of the feast of unleavened bread is considered Passover?
That's how we started lumping it together in post-exilic Israel, yes. But when you go historically, when the Lord gave us the commandment, those 2 days were specifically separated. Even what we just read earlier, I don't know how long you've been in the class, we read the citation from Josephus, where he even attests to the fact that Passover is on the 14th day at evening, and then the following day, separate, is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. However, afterwards, for particular reasons, we started lumping those things together. And you can even see there's a disputation amongst some of the people of Israel at that time as to when is the correct Passover. So you see some of our people during the first century lump those things together.
So like to your point too, Hasad, also when you look at the word for evening in the Strongs, it lets you know that it was a difference between when the Pharisees and other different sects observed when the evening was. So this is where there's a lot of confusion coming in.
Right. So I want to get to this Mark 15, and for context, we can go to. We can just kind of get to the point. So Mark 15, we agree just real quick, Yehuda, for the timeline's sake. We agree that Christ eats the Last Supper, which is Passover, at night, right?
Right.
Okay, and I'm just going to go for this real quick just to make sure we're on the same page. So Christ eats Passover at night with the disciples. Judas leaves to betray him. Christ goes to the Garden of Gethsemane, and the Passovers fall asleep because it's late out, it's night. And then Judas comes with the soldiers, they apprehend Christ, and then they hold him until the morning where they have a council. We agree?
Yeah, man, it's all going on at nighttime, and then, yeah.
And then the council takes place, just real quick to establish context. Verse 1 of Mark 15:1, and straightway in the morning, the chief priests held a consultation, right? So the council to kill Christ takes place in the morning, and then they kill him in the afternoon. We agree?
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay, perfect. And just to establish that for anyone watching, verse 34, and at the 9th hour, that would be like what, 3 o'clock, I think. Jesus cried with a loud voice saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, right? So then he dies right around this time. This is in the afternoon. Here's the point, verse 42. And now, when the evening was come, so some time afterwards, this is in the afternoon, after Christ died, because it was the preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate and craved the body of Jesus. So Christ is still on the cross. And right after he dies, it says that the day that Christ died was the day before the Sabbath. You're saying the day Christ died is the day after the Sabbath.
Yeah, because this Sabbath here is talking about the weekly Sabbath, bro.
So you're saying
what?
So you're saying, okay,
go on. So yeah, man. I believe what if I'm following correctly, you've just cut your own point, right?
No.
So because obviously, if Christ he had his Passover on the 14th day of the month, right? So that would have been 2 days before the Sabbath.
No. Again,
what?
Yeah. No, brother, you're
It
not
was
following.
2 days before the Sabbath.
I'm gonna explain.
He
brother.
believes Christ died on Good Wednesday. Let me explain why your head is rolling down the street smiling and you don't even know it. What Hasad just showed you is that Christ ate the Passover. He ate the Passover, and then he was apprehended, and then the next day when the sun rose, he died. So I'm gonna ask you a question. He ate the Passover prior to a day before he died, correct?
Right, and the point I'm making is, he died on the Friday, so he ate the Passover on the Thursday,
No,
He
let's
dies
just
on the
deal with the numbers.
Friday,
Let's deal
and
with
then
the
it's
numbers.
Saturday right
Where
after
does it
that.
say
But go ahead.
Friday anywhere in the Bible?
It doesn't say Friday. So let's deal with the numbers of the month. What day of the month did Christ eat the Passover?
The 14th.
The 14th. Okay. And then he was apprehended that night, and then the sun had rose, and then he was crucified after the sun rose, correct?
On the 15th, crucified on the 15th.
Wow.
Which means again, though,
Wow.
real quick, I want to let you know, which means that Christ did not die on Passover. But he's trying to appeal to Luke 22:1. That's where he's
That's where I went from the start.
Right,
I said
that's
that
what he's
unleavened bread is
Okay.
called the
Okay.
Passover. You know what I'm saying? It's interchangeable.
But here's the point, though. You just admitted that he ate the meal on the 14th. Did he keep Passover on the wrong day?
Not at all, bro, because
Okay.
that's the day you meant to keep the Passover. He kept the Passover on the day of Passover. The
Okay.
following day, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, is when he was apprehended. Oh, and actually, it was the night, I believe. It was the night of the Passover he was apprehended.
Uh-huh.
And
And
then it
then
was
the
the
next
Feast of
day, because you
Unleavened Bread, where he
believe a
died.
day starts at sunrise. So he ate on the
According to
14th,
Scripture.
and then he kept the Passover on the 15th. Yes or no? I'm sorry. Excuse me. He ate the Passover on the 14th, and then he died on the 15th. Yes or no?
Yeah, he died on the 15th. Yeah.
Okay, now,
Unleavened bread.
why does it say the day that he died was the preparation for the Sabbath?
Because in the book of Exodus, chapter 16:23, it tells us that we have to prepare our food the day before the Sabbath. So what that shows us was unleavened bread this year fell on a day before the Sabbath. So that
he
even
died
this
on the
actually
Sabbath.
this is actually another cook for your doctrine.
No,
This actually shows that the
You're
15th
cutting
day of the
yourself
month,
up.
the 15th day of the month here wasn't even a Sabbath. The 15th day of
Okay,
the month
good.
was a preparation day.
Okay, good.
So this shows
good.
the 16th day. This actually shows it was the 16th day of the month at this time, which was the Sabbath, which is
Now
another
watch
cook for your
this.
doctrine.
Now watch this. The day that he died was the 15th. Did Joseph of Arimathea purchase something when he died? This is what, now again, for the audience, we don't agree with him. We're just cutting him with his own understanding. Did Joseph of Arimathea go and purchase something on the day that Christ died? Damn, this is bad. This is bad. I'm gonna stop this.
It says that he came at the sunset.
No, he said he went and purchased some clothes, some cloth, a robe to wrap Jesus' body in. How did he do that if it was the Sabbath?
Can you just read the verse for me, just so I can see what you're talking about?
He buys the fields. What verse is that?
Yeah, let's look at that verse, because I think you actually cut your own doctrine here.
No,
This actually is another good point.
He cut you, brother, but it's okay. We love you.
After this, but depending on how you answer this, bro, we gotta stop this. Go ahead.
Okay, that's cool. But all I'm gonna say is, in your own time, meditate on that Joshua 5, because you know that's a big cut right there.
It can't be a cut. It has to be. Your understanding has to line up with it, and it doesn't. It can't be a double Sabbath if we have to kill and cook there. So go ahead, Hasad.
Matthew 27.
No one says it all, bro. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Watch this. Matthew 27:1. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. This is the 15th, correct? This is the day Christ died.
Yeah, it's the 15th, right? Yeah, man.
And that's the first day of unleavened bread, right?
That's the first day of unleavened bread.
And you believe that's the Sabbath?
Yeah, it's a Sabbath.
Okay. We'll go to verse.
The only work you can do this day is to prepare your food, like it says, Exodus 12 and 16.
Beyond preparing your food, brother, this is really bad. Verse, I'll keep going. Verse 2, and when they bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned and I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hung himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, "It is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood." And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. So are you saying that they broke the Sabbath and bought a field?
Wait, you just jumped to Matthew now, right?
Yeah, but this is the parallel to Mark. Yeah, real quick though, brother. This is the parallel to Mark 15. It's the same thing. So I'm not jumping. I'm just getting clarity.
Yeah, I hear you, but I want to see what time of day this is, though. Let me just scroll down. Mark makes a clear distinction what happens after sunset, though. So it's happening after sunset.
I got you. Look at verse 1. When the morning was come. And then it says, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. So it's the same thing as Mark 15:1. This is the council that takes place the following morning after the Last Supper.
Right. And you believe a morning starts a new day. This would be the 15th. You said this was the Sabbath. How the hell are they buying on the Sabbath?
So what verse did Judas throw that money down? Because we know that Christ died at the 9th hour. There's only 12 hours in the day. So if Judas threw this money down after...
It's right after the morning, bro.
This is the morning, brother. How we know
is later. Come on, bro.
Yeah, brother.
Okay, so
later
wait, wait, 1 second. Why are we even arguing for Judas? Anyway, Judas is a sinner, bro. Like, he ain't trying
We're not arguing for Judas, brother.
This isn't Judas. This is the chief priest. Now remember, the chief priest tried to kill Christ because they alleged that he broke the Sabbath, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So how is it that they themselves would buy a field, and then who would they buy a field from on the Sabbath if it's the Sabbath?
Wait.
So everyone's just breaking the Sabbath,
the same day. Wait, where does it say they bought a field the same day?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Again, Matthew 27:1.
And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's fields to bury strangers in. Right. Okay, and the chief priest took the silver and said it's not lawful to put them into the treasury because, and they took counsel and bought them with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field is called.
And we know, brother.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying, but check this out, right? Check this out, yeah. Regardless of what they're doing, if this is the 15th, this is the day after the Passover, this is a sin, bro. So they would be in sin.
Okay.
And real quick, it don't even say that they bought the field the same day. It doesn't say they bought it the same day. It's just telling us what they did with the money.
What day would it be then?
Brother,
it's just saying what they used the money for. It's saying it doesn't say when they spent the money. It's saying they used the money to buy a field.
Brother, when you read the gospel accounts, especially when it gets to the time period where Christ is going to die, they're speaking in chronological order. In Matthew 27:1, it tells you the chronological timeline. Verse 1, this is in the morning. Christ doesn't die until way later in the same chapter of Matthew 27. So what it's letting you know in between verses 27 in Christ and later, this is when they bought the field. This is the morning of what you are saying is the 15th. Now, you not conceded, but you said, well, if that's the case, then they are in sin. But again, these are people that were constantly putting accusations against Christ that he was breaking the Sabbath, and they tried to put him to death. So how is it that they themselves are going to get away with this? Other people are going to allow them to get away with this. And then who is this individual that they're going to buy something from on the Sabbath?
Yeah, that's a good, fair question. Hebrew elevation, Hebrew de-escalation.
All right, and your point is that because the sunrise doesn't start a new day, this is still the Passover. When they bought it, you're saying they bought it on the
14th day, brother.
Exactly. And that goes to our point because, again, this will be the day before the Sabbath. That's how they would be able to go buy something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what? All right, you go ahead.
Okay, so all right, you believe a day starts in the morning, right? Now, Isaiah 8:20 says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, is because there's no light in them, right? So in Genesis chapter 1, right? Let's go there really quickly. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. What starts the first day? What's this cycle that we see here? What starts the day?
When the light comes, because he called the light the day.
Okay, it says in the evening and the morning were the first day.
Yeah, but that's when you look at it in the that's what when you look at it in the English though, bro. When you look at it in the Hebrew, right? It says it became evening, it became morning, and then it says day one. So when you look at the Hebrew, it's only calling the morning day one, which makes sense Because in the context, the Bible says the
No.
Most High divided the light from the darkness. He divided the day from the night. So you're not supposed to join them together like the English did or does.
Oh, but you said there's two concepts of a day. A day is a 24-hour period, and then you said a day is daylight, right? You said that.
Yeah. Two
Eh,
concepts of a day. You got the working day in Ezekiel 46, or you got a full day.
Okay, gotcha. So again, the light, it says la war, right? The light, right? Day, yawam, right? And the darkness, la chashach, it called night, right? La yala, right? And it says, and the evening I rob, and the morning Bakwar were the first day, Yawam Ahad. So a day is literally evening and morning in the Hebrew. And we see this clearly in the Torah. It's plain. A day does not start in the daytime and when the light is outside, right? Secondly, let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 14, real quick, right? So this is Judges chapter 14 and 12. It says, and Samson said unto them, he's talking to the Philistines, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it to me within the 7 days of the feast. So there's a feast that the Israelites are keeping at this time. I'm not sure if this was tabernacles or unleavened bread. That's irrelevant, right? But it's a 7-day feast, right? And he's giving them a riddle. It says, and find it out. Then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 changes of clothes, right? But if you cannot declare it me, then ye give me 30 sheets and 30 changes of garments. And they said unto him, put forth the riddle that we may hear it, right? So the riddle's put forth. They start to they try to entice his wife to get the answer from him, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 15. It says, and it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee in thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? Verse 16. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, thou dost but hate me and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, behold, I have not told it to my father and my mother, and it shall be, right? She wept before him the 7 days. For the whole 7 days, she's crying before him while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. She's just nagging him, nagging to tell her the riddle. And she told the riddle to the children of her people, and the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day, before the sun went down. Why is that significant, Hebrew elevation?
Because he said 7 days, so he was clearly talking about 7-day portions.
How?
So
But
he
the
said,
sun's
like,
going down.
if you
No,
can,
no.
because the
The
day
the
ends,
feast
because
is
the
7
day
days
ends at
long.
sunset. Like I said, bro, there's two understandings, bro. 7 days can also just represent 7-day periods, bro. Like you already conceded that, G.
So what's the day? What's the day portion called? What's the day portion called?
The working day, bro.
What's the day portion called in the Hebrew?
It'll be all yom or something light portion, light day
A
or something like
war. It
that,
would be
bro.
a war. That word there's yawam. You're cut.
Yeah,
You're cut. You're
Ooh.
yeah,
cut.
because it's the light portion, bro. Bro,
The
no, you
light
didn't do
portion is
nothing.
the light portion is bukwar. Yes.
It doesn't always make a clear distinction, bro. You can
You're
discern from the
cut. You're
context.
cut. It says yawam, the 7th day. Because
Okay.
a full day
All
is from
right, bro.
evening to morning,
That's not a clean
evening to
point. Right,
evening.
you deal with this, right? You said the Torah, like the Law and Testament, yeah, is where we get
I
the
showed you
light from,
Genesis.
right?
I showed you
So
Genesis. That's the
how
law.
about numbers then? How about numbers? And you misinterpreted Genesis, bro. And you should really do better because you meant to speak the Hebrew, right? And you're appealing to the English word and. But if you look in the Hebrew, what is the word for and in Hebrew there? It don't
Wow.
mean and, bro.
Okay,
What does
let's
that
move forward.
what does that word mean?
Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let me just ask these two quick questions, and then we got somebody in the back. Hebrew elevation. Christ is supposed to be our Passover. Christ is supposed to be our Passover sacrifice. That means he should have died on the Passover, fulfilling that. But you said which is the 14th, but you said he died on the next day, which is the 15th. How do you reconcile that?
Luke, he's gonna go to Luke 22 again.
Yeah. The whole feast is called the Passover. It's
Okay.
figurative. It's not always entirely literal.
Okay.
And yeah, it still counts that way. The whole
Okay.
feast of Passover.
Got you. So if Christ died on the Sabbath, then what are the do's and the don'ts? So it's night, he dies, and then sundown comes. What are the do's and the don'ts for the whole 24-hour period? What are the do's and the don'ts on the 15th, which you say is the Sabbath? What is the do's and the don'ts for that whole 24-hour period? Can you kindle a fire? Can you cook? Can you buy, sell?
You talk about unleavened bread.
Which was the 15th, which you believe is the Sabbath, correct?
Yeah. Right. So the do's and the don'ts is like I brought out before, Exodus chapter 12 and 16. On leavened bread, the only work you can do is like prepare your food, right? But
So
come
you can't buy,
sunset,
right?
yeah, you couldn't buy. So if like what you're saying, these Pharisees and Sadducees was to have bought the field on that day, it would have
Mhm.
been a sin.
The what?
I don't see it. One moment. Let me say this. I don't see it clearly saying they bought the field that day. But I would say I'd give you that as a good point
That's
because
fine.
obviously
That's fine. That's fine.
I'd yield that point to you. But I'd like you to yield as well that Joshua 5 shows they ate parched corn the day after Passover, and they only eat parched corn the day after a Sabbath. So I feel
Okay.
like you brought me to a bunch of different verses to try and find a hole in my doctrine, because my first point put a hole in your doctrine. And you
No, because
didn't want to kind of
no,
acknowledge that.
your first point that you made is not even the standard for your own understanding. So my question is,
How so?
can you kindle a fire on the Sabbath?
Not on a weekly Sabbath. Not on a weekly Sabbath. No.
I got it, Deacon.
So you can kindle a fire on any other Sabbath, just not the weekly Sabbath.
Well, on unleavened bread, you can kindle a fire. Do you believe you can kindle a fire on unleavened bread?
No, it has the same restrictions as the weekly Sabbath.
So why does Exodus chapter 12 and 16 say the only work you're allowed to do is the work that you have to do for your food? It says, and in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. So when it says, save that which every man must eat, does that not include kindling fire to cook your food?
Even if we were to grant you that, that's fine, because the type of
But do you
kindling
grant me that though? Do you grant me that? Do you grant me that?
temporarily, I will, but watch this. Here's why I only say temporarily. In Luke 22, the type of fire that's being kindled has nothing to do with cooking for the feast. Look at this. This is the point Deacon's raising. In Luke 22,
let me share my screen.
Okay.
He might be done right now.
Yeah. Or verse 55. This is when they have the council in the morning. This is where you would say the 15th day is, which is what you would say is the Sabbath. It says, and when they had kindled, Luke 22:55, and when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the hall, and
nothing to do with food. Nothing to do with food. They just kindled a fire. This would be a prohibition if this was the Sabbath.
Right.
You're done, buddy.
They kindled,
and they also purchased. They also purchased on that day.
Yeah, but wait. That is talking about the day that they apprehended Christ. So that's the sun. That's Passover after the evening, because they captured Christ during the nighttime. So this wasn't even during unleavened bread.
No, brother.
This was during the night of the 14th.
No. Okay. What verse are we at?
We're at 55.
Okay. Let's go to verse. Let me see something.
Like, you agree that's the 14th, right? You do agree that's the 14th.
It says the council, right? When they had a council to kill Christ.
Yeah, but they put the fire out there because that was nighttime when Peter was denying Christ, when Peter was following them, apprehending Christ, bro.
Hold on, I get what he's saying. He's saying.
I get what he's saying.
Here's where he's been cut the entire time. Here's the one thing that I will grant him this. He's actually correct. They take him to the priest's house first at night, then they take him to the judgment hall in the morning.
Okay. So this is for the Israelites who say that the 14th was a Sabbath. Yeah, then we would bring him here and say, how the hell are they kindling a fire? But you're saying that no, he actually died on the 15th, but you're saying that is not the weekly Sabbath. I get what you're saying. Either way,
You still
They
can't buy on that day.
exactly. You still can't buy on that day, and we proved that they were buying on that day. So it is what it is, man. What you need to do is you need to rally up all the Friday and Saturday camp keepers and just tell them to get with the big G's, brother. You know what I mean? That's all there is, brother.
We appreciate you, Yehuda.
All right, shalom, y'all.
Shalom. Malak, what's going on, brother?
Hey, shalom to everybody on the panel. I just have a question because yesterday when you was live, I was asking about the whole thing with the calendar, and due to the fact that I'm using the World Last Chance calendar, it have Day of Atonement in October. So I want to know if I decide that, hey, you know what? Seeing that that calendar is a month ahead and it's obviously wrong. If I keep it, let's say from tonight into tomorrow, would I be in error if I do so? Yes or no?
Technically, yes, but the Most High could potentially, and I mean, this is up to the Most High. He's the judge of it. Because Leviticus 23 doesn't say to keep the Day of Atonement on any other day outside of the day in which it instructs you to. But if for whatever reason you're unable to, or something prohibits you from doing so, and you say, I'm going to, as soon as I can, I'm going to do it, then I believe the Most High could have some compassion on you. But I don't know.
Okay. All right.
That's what I would do.
Okay. Because that's the question that I had, but thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Shalom.
All right, y'all. We have reached our 2-hour mark. We are still keeping Day of Atonement here on the East Coast. We got about 2.5-ish hours left.
No, about an hour. About an hour and change.
Oh, you're 100% right. It's 8 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock right now. Yeah, we're around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we got like an hour. And
hey, Genesis Varsity Online Academy, Salakia, y'all. I was late. I'm an hour late to Genesis Varsity Online Academy. Me and Hasad was supposed to stop this, but this was good. Good Day of Atonement edification. For the Genesis Varsity students, I will see y'all in class right now. Peace, blessings. Shalom, house of bread. I'm out.
Shalom, D. Love y'all, brothers, man.
Go to Shalom. All right, y'all. But with that, you guys, make sure y'all like the video. Please share the video. And real quick, matter of fact, don't go nowhere yet. I need y'all help real quick. I need all y'all help. I know exactly what y'all can do. I ain't gonna ask y'all to send no super chats. Y'all ain't got to do that, but I do have something that I would like y'all help for. So there's a podcast. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second, y'all. We still got 400 people in here. I need all y'all help. 1 second. This will take like 30 seconds, everybody. And let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. So let me share my screen. There's this podcast, everybody, that this former UFC fighter named Jake Shields, he hosts. And he be on there with John Jones. He was on there with Nick Fuentes not too long ago. And this is the podcast right here. It's called the Fight Back Podcast. The reason I show you guys this is because he put out a tweet. What the hell is that? He put out a tweet yesterday. And let me share this. He said, the Black Israelites are the real Jews, and I would love to have one on as a guest. I'm curious of their opinion on the imposter Jews, and if they also want the Geno Jennings in Palestine. So if y'all could, family, what I'm going to do is, how do I take this? I'm going to copy this, copy the link, and then I'm going to put in here. If y'all could go and tag me under this and just say, yo, Hasad or something like that. Or if you don't want me to get on there, you can tag somebody else. But I think I would be good for the podcast. So if y'all could, there's a link to it. And just tag me under that, y'all. I appreciate it. But with that, I want to give all praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai. Appreciate y'all. Like and share the video. And shalom, everybody.